Are you a health professional business owner and you've heard that you should be running Google Ads? Well, maybe you've tried running Google Ads and you haven't had much luck. Maybe the problem is that you've given it a go, but you can't really measure the results. Or you've tried to run ads and you've really not understood how it works or how you actually get a result with it. Or maybe you just haven't tried running ads at all. Look, what if I could help you not just set up and start running Google Ads, but guarantee you get new bookings for less than $27 per booking? When you get Google Ads right, you can pull a lever and get predictable bookings and have full control over new client generation. Look, and let me show you a few examples. So the first example I'm going to give you is an example of the clinic that I run, Studio XFizz. And I'm going to show you real live examples of the amount that we've spent on Google Ads, the amount we've been able to achieve per conversion, and the total amount of conversions that's generated, and also the lifetime value that means for each client, and then the overall revenue that represents for the total business. So I'm going to start with an example of our studio, and then I've also got two amazing client examples that I'm going to show you guys as well. So if you take a look at here on my iPad, this is an example of our studio. So you can see here that over a 1 month period, we've managed to get a conversion for $27.79. And in that month, we got 74 conversions. And so what we do there is we don't just measure the amount of conversions and the investment that those conversions have represented. We also go as far as having a look at the next slide and measuring the amount of time, the amount of appointments that client spends, and as well as what is the average that client will spend. So just one of those clients across those 74 within that month, we review it through our dashboards, and you can see that on average, for every new client that comes in, we'll see them 11.4 times. And what that represents is around, on average, about $970 per client. So you can see if you ran the numbers for that month, 74 new bookings at the average lifetime value of $970, that alone generated $71,000 into the business. So that's really amazing. So over here, we've got an example of a client business. This is as predictable as it comes, but with a little bit less budget. You can see in this month, it cost us just $23.37 per booking, and managed to get 21 conversions. And we also measure that lifetime value as well as PVA on the back end as well, so we can guarantee the amount of revenue that client generates. And you can also see, if we move over, another client that I'm working with, another example, real life, $24.64 per client, and in that month managed to get 43 conversions. So, what if you could get, you could bring in $970 per client with just a spend of under $27. And that's when you get it predictable, and that's where Google Ads works its magic. And so why and how do we get such great results? So obviously with the clinic I run, ads are totally optimized. I'm looking at those day in, day out, and I am the face of Studio XFizz. But also, as well as that, I follow a very clear and succinct systematical approach to actually what goes on beyond Google Ads. And we measure absolutely everything. So how it works, if you have a look back here on my iPad, most people think that this is it when it comes to success on Google Ads. But it's actually, what you can see, is about 12 or 13 points to actually pull it off effectively. So obviously the first step is running a Google ad. The second step is setting them to a landing page. And the third step is getting them to call your practice. Now, about 93% of these conversions have actually called, and only 7% actually book online, based on my experience. That may be different from clinic to clinic, depending on how well of an engine is people actually taking action online. So if we know 93% of people are actually picking up the phone, then we need to make sure this next step is optimized. It means we need to have someone being able to answer the phones, following a script that's going to guarantee that 90+% of every inquiry that you get actually turns into a new client, and every single client that you actually pay for on Google Ads becomes a client as well. The next step is, as soon as the client enters into the database, Clinico, which is a practice management software we use, actually speaks back to Google Ads, and we have actually integrated it. So we integrate Clinico and integrate Google Ads, so that as soon as that name, that number pops up in Clinico, Google Ads will create that as a conversion. That takes a bit of a process to set up, that optimization and that actual conversion and that integration, but it's very powerful. Obviously, then your job is to hold the appointment. Our next job is to create an appointment confirmation, which is some information, education about what's coming up. The next step is 2 days before, send a confirmation email, again reminding them about that upcoming appointment, and then the day before an SMS. Then's to hold the appointment, and usually that's an initial consultation, and there's a system and a strategy that we have for that to make sure that person guarantees they're going to follow the recommendation in full and actually live out that lifetime value and actually see you enough time so you get hired for the job ahead, and not just have them come for 1 or 2 appointments. Obviously, then's to book in the full recommendation through the lens of a treatment plan, so they follow your recommendation, a support contact after that to make sure if they've got any questions or anything after the fact, and then obviously book in that first phase of treatment in full. So we dashboard absolutely everything. We measure everything, because if we measure it, we can improve upon it. So look, you can go out and try and figure out all this stuff on your own, and we can guarantee it's going to take a couple of months, even if you get it right. But if you're looking to speed things up and you're wanting these results in your practice, then feel free to reach out and book a 15-minute discovery call with me. We'll go through the strategy in full, and I'll pull the curtains back on exactly what it looks like in integrating this strategy into your business. And you can see that it's not just what people think in regards to what it takes to make money on Google Ads, it's also the back end that we need to get right as well. So if you're looking for an additional hand, click the link below, book in the 15-minute discovery call, and we'll identify the 3 things that we can do to take your business to the next level.